You heat the oil between 325 and 350 degrees. The oil will drop about 2 to 3 degrees whenever you insert a horn, more for the larger mass of the horn. As I put it in, I stick it in as an angle so we don't get any blowback. So the oil goes all the way through, and I immerse it about halfway down in the pot. And then any moisture that's in the horn is going to start bubbling out. And we're getting bubbles already, but I only leave it in for about 10-15 seconds at a shot. I don't know if you can see the bubbles coming up or not. And we'll pull it out, make sure we're not French frying it. We want to get the horn as malleable as possible, especially on this thick end, so you can tilt the thick end more into the oil than the other, and it'll catch more of the bottom heat. We also lay cloth out because when we pound the mandrel in, we don't want a bunch of oil spraying back in our face. So what we'll do is we'll drain as much oil over the pot as we can. Then we'll lay it in here and wipe it off before we insert the mandrel. I'll also check every once in a while, because it's hard to tell with the oil on there. Wipe a piece of the white colored horn and see if it's starting to turn yellow. If it is, that means you're French frying it, and that's what we don't want. Once you get horn that hot, it turns brittle and there's no way to bring it back. Kind of like a potato in a fryer.
You do not want it golden brown.
Now, can you see the amount of bubbles that we got coming up here? Lots and lots of them. This is very old lard, so it's discolored, but we're going to try. You can see there's a little bit discoloring on the edge, so I think we're hot enough. See how it's yellow on the edge? That's what we mean by the French frying. We do not want to French fry it. We're trying to drive this mandrel in so it's tight on both ends of the horn.
Around?
Or both ends of the horn are tight onto the mandrel. Here you can see it's very, very tight. And on this end you can see we got a really slight gap right there, but it's pretty good. So we'll give it another hit. What we don't want to do is go too far. There's a crack developing here, so we're going to stop right there because we don't want to crack this on the inside. And we'll just clean it off, and we'll let it cool for about 5 minutes or so, and then we'll put it in the lathe. What we have here is Jesse Lubera. He's getting ready to heat a piece of horn to press onto a mandrel. When you're ready, sir.
Ready? We're your one-stop shop for all your accounting needs, from business startup to exit strategies, from payroll to tax planning, and everything in between. Call me at 322-8234.
Here we can see a lot of bubbles rising up. This is a key that it might be about ready. So we'll let the oil drain and wipe it off. Now Jesse's going to put it on the mandrel by hand, and then we're going to start the process of hammering it into the horn. It's coming out a little bit. Now we have a piece of horn that's mounted on the mandrel. We're going to remount it in the lathe. This is why we made the marks on it the first time. So what I'll do is I'll line it up with the mark on here in the same pinhole that we have on our spur center. And then we'll turn this in, we'll bring it in a little closer. Now that we're nice and tight,
You might not ever get it.
we can see the basic length of our cup right here by looking at the horizon.
Horizon. Explain.
The horizon is the top side up here, the bottom side down here that you can see past the cup. You can see every imperfection because it shows up lighter than solid material.
Yep. Not turning true.
So now we're ready to turn the outside of a cup. What we're doing here is we're going to part off the ends and we're going to turn the outside of the cup so it's nice and concentric and round. What we're looking for when we part the end of the cup is to make sure that it's still flush to the horn, and then we have a nice even cut on the end as compared to a curled piece here. We want it flat and flat. We don't want any curves, top or bottom. So here you can see I have to cut this almost back to here in order to get it flush.
It's like that silly string.
That's pretty nice, but I'm going to take an extra cut because I have a gap in the horn in here that I want to take out. You know you're making the right cut on a horn when that shaving that comes off of there is almost unbroken. If it's coming off in chips, you either have too dull of a tool or not enough pressure. Now we should be pretty flush to the horn all the way around. Not bad.
Nope, turn back in.
Now I'll use a large thumbnail gouge to start rounding the outside. You can hear the chattering as I move the tool. That means it's not round. As I go down here toward the end, you won't hear that chatter anymore. That means it's round. Every once in a while I'll shut the lathe off and I'll see where I'm at, where my low spots are. You'll be able to see where your low spots are at because they'll still be shiny from the oil. Turning the horn, it's nice to turn it when it's warm, but you do not use the same amount of pressure as when you're cutting wood. Use lighter pressure. Now we're doing much better. We only have maybe one more pass to go here. Now I'll move to my flat scraper to clean up the outside. check it for true. Got one spot here. Can you see that? It's still not turned true. Because the horn's getting a little thin, I'll part this back a little bit and then clean it up.